In 1986, the American forces attacked Libya. In 2002, Iraq. And then in 2014, Syria. Whenever America wanted, it tried to change the fate of the Middle East. But there is one country that has not been coming under their control for many decades, and that is Iran. Even today, America and Israel are trying to find cracks in Iran's fortress, which will not be that easy. History has witnessed that for the last 600 years, not even 1 inch of Iran's borders has moved from its place. Whether the attackers were Romans, Arabs, Turks, Russians, or even the British Empire, Iran has repeatedly proven that it has the strength to withstand even the biggest attacks. But what is the real secret behind this strength? What is that thing which makes Iran completely different from other Arab countries and extremely tough? Once again, welcome to Zemverse TV videos. Viewers, first of all, let's talk about the gift that Iran has received from nature. If Iran is understood in one sentence, then it is a very big fortress. A fortress whose walls were not built by humans, but by nature itself. This country is surrounded by mountains from all sides. The Zagros mountain range, present in the south, is a mountain chain that works like a wall against enemies coming from the south of Iran. Towards the southwest, these Zagros Mountains slowly bend toward Iraq, but towards the northwest, they become so strong and high that they form an almost impossible border with Turkey. Where there are no mountains, there are marshy lands, especially where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers meet each other. These marshlands also work as a natural barrier, just like a deep trench in front of a fortress. This was about the border with Iraq and Turkey. If we move towards the north, where the Caspian Sea and Azerbaijan are located, there the Alborz mountain range is present for protection. If we look towards the east, there small mountain ranges are wrapped around Iran like a ribbon, forming borders with Afghanistan and Pakistan, meaning that these mountains have kept Iran safe like a fortress from all sides, while in the south, the Persian Gulf is the final wall of this fortress. If someone tries to capture it from the Persian Gulf, then in front there are mountains up to 1.5 kilometers high that extend nearly 250 kilometers inside. To capture any country, its geographical location plays an important role. In the same way, such natural mountain chains have also kept Afghanistan safe until today, whether the enemy was the Soviet Union or America. Similarly, these mountains are so important for Iran's safety that all attempts made to capture Iran in the last 600 years have failed. Apart from Iran's borders, if we talk about inside the country, there are 2 large deserts here, Dasht-e-Kavir and Dasht-e-Lut. They are so barren that people are forced to live on the mountains. Out of Iran's total population of 90 million, most people live in these mountainous areas. This is the reason why for any outside army entering Iran and controlling it has always been a frightening dream. Enemies coming from land can face logistics challenges on one side, and on the other side, tight supply lines, narrow routes, and harsh weather can constantly create new challenges for them. But there is another side of the story. These same mountain chains that protect Iran also imprison it. If we look at history, whenever Iran has tried to move towards the west, these same mountains have become a major obstacle for Iran itself. This is why Iran does not fight direct wars to maintain presence in the south and west, but instead it has created a network of Shia proxy groups, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, Islamic resistance in Iraq, and Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Palestine. This was the advantage of Iran's geography. Now let's move towards the Strait of Hormuz. As I mentioned earlier in another video, the Strait of Hormuz holds tremendous strategic value for Iran. Here you can see that the entire northern side of the Persian Gulf from start to end belongs only to Iran, while the lower part is shared by 7 countries: Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and Oman. The entrance of the Persian Gulf is called the Strait of Hormuz. On its north there is only Iran's coastline, while on the south is a small part of Oman. On Iran's side, Hormuz forms a V-shape, because of which Iran can control this area better from 3 sides. The lower part, which belongs to Oman, is pointed, and there are narrow mountainous paths there, and it extends only about 50 kilometers into Hormuz. At this point, it has always been easy for Iran to block Hormuz, and now, finally, they have used this option after the US-Israel attacks. Iran has clearly said that if any country's ship moves towards Hormuz, it will be burned. Through this, Iran can put not only Gulf countries, but the entire world under pressure, because 20% of the world's oil and 90% of Qatar's LNG, along with 5% of the world economy, depend on Hormuz. In 2025, the world economy was $120 trillion, and if Hormuz is closed, $6,000 billion of it could disappear instantly. If anyone tries to capture or attack Iran, Iran has the valuable asset of closing Hormuz and putting the entire world under pressure. Iran's third advantage is its very long coastline. Iran's total perimeter is 8,731 kilometers, out of which 2,815 kilometers is sea coastline along the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. That means 32% of Iran's borders are coastline. And let me tell you that this is not an ordinary coast. Normally there is sand after a coast, but here there are mountain chains, where Iran has installed missile batteries at secret locations. There are caves and many blind spots which cannot be seen even by satellites or drones. Even if an enemy lands from the sea onto land, they immediately face mountains from where sudden attacks can happen. After geography, the Strait of Hormuz, and the difficult coastline, the third shield that protects Iran from outside invaders are the different ethnic groups living there. Iran is a multi-ethnic country, meaning not just one ethnicity lives there. Persians, Azeris, Kurds, Arabs, Baloch, and Turkmen, along with many other tribes, live here. When a country's population is made up of many ethnic groups, the biggest challenge is keeping everyone satisfied. Each group wants its rights and wants to protect its language and culture. In the mountainous regions, different tribes live with their own languages and cultures, and many of them have conflicts that are centuries old. Although Iran has kept them united under the umbrella of Shia Muslims, protests are still often seen. Recently, protests that started in December 2025 are still continuing today, in which more than 7,000 people have died so far. This is the biggest protest since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Controlling all of them and keeping them under one umbrella has always been difficult for Iran. Sometimes one group is unhappy, sometimes another. Where this multi-ethnicity is a problem for Iran, it's even bigger a problem for any outside invader. Whoever thinks of capturing Iran will first have to fight its geography and then take along the people inside, which seems like an impossible task. That is why during the British colonial era, when the British ruled the subcontinent, no one could make Iran their colony. The US and Israel also understand this very well. That is why President Trump repeatedly says that the people of Iran should overthrow the Islamic regime, because they also know that defeating Iran without the support of its people is nearly impossible. In 1941, the British and Russians captured Iran with the help of the Shah's son, and the purpose was to prevent Nazi forces from making Iran their base during World War II. Even at that time, different groups inside Iran turned against the government, and a situation similar to civil war emerged. Apart from that, although these groups have disagreements among themselves, religiously they are connected. About 95% of Iran's population are Shia Muslims. If we look at history, whenever Iran has been attacked from outside, all of them unite at that moment. In September 1980, when the Islamic Revolution had just happened, Saddam Hussein thought that Iran's army would be scattered and the system would be weak. Thinking this, Iraq attacked Iran with the intention of capturing it. But the war that Saddam Hussein had taken lightly continued for the next 8 years. In the beginning, the Iraqi army had entered deep inside, but within 2 years, Iran regained its land. In this war, not only Iran's military but also ordinary people took part, and everyone came under one umbrella ready to sacrifice their lives. Saddam Hussein expected that Iran's Arabs would join the Iraqi side and Kurds would create chaos, causing Iran to break from within. But all his expectations failed. Those groups that had disagreements among themselves united under the umbrella of Shia Muslims during the war, which strengthened Iranian nationalism even more. After 8 years of war and about 1 million casualties, both Iraq and Iran were exhausted, but without gaining even 1 inch of land, Saddam Hussein had to accept defeat. Iran's most dangerous weapon is not its army, but its size. This country is not a small target that can be captured within a few weeks. It is a strategic labyrinth spread across 1.6 million square kilometers. In other words, 2 countries the size of Pakistan can fit inside.
Even if an army crosses the border, immediate victory is impossible. They have to reach centuries-old mountain routes, desert plateaus, and cities located deep inside. This is called the strategic depth concept, meaning the deeper the enemy enters, the longer its supply lines become. Pressure on fuel and logistics increases, and obstacles get more time to slow them down. And cities like Tehran, Isfahan, and Mashhad are not on the borders but are safe inside the country. By the time the enemy reaches them, they are already exhausted. So it would not be wrong to say that Iran's land itself acts like a silent guardian that turns time into its greatest weapon. We hope you will also like and share this Zemverse TV video wholeheartedly. Thank you very much for your love and comments. See you in the next amazing video.